should be. Why can't I figure this out? And where would the chat be? I don't know. Why am I not live? Oh yeah, I should be live. Technical errors. Let's figure this out. This should work. I'm having technical issues, but all I want to do is talk about the ball python stuff that we're talking about with them, like how we keep them together and stuff. But we'll figure this out first, since okay, I am live. I went live for like 3 minutes talking about snakes and stuff, and then no one like, it didn't work, and I was like, what's going on? It turns out that it wasn't live. I feel old. I feel old. I was just talking to myself. I wasn't even live. So, okay, so I'm definitely live right now because it was not. I've been live in my head for like 5 minutes and it was not live. It was like unlisted. So, hey everyone. Okay, so live. Great. I had to like message Chief Switch Universe, my friend who also has a channel, and I was like, am I live? Right, so the thing that I wanted to talk about was have a Q&A session, just hang out and chat. And I want to talk about the ball python stuff because there's been so many questions across all platforms, not just this one, about the whole cohabbing and stuff for ball pythons. So I don't know what time it is in America. I don't know if this is a good time. I'm trying to fit it in whilst in between making videos and stuff. But anyway, the ball python study, I want to just give a recap for people. In the study where they looked at the cohabitability or whether they're social for the ball pythons, they had a bunch of snakes and they would put them in different groups. Now, I can't remember the sample size and numbers and things like that, but for the average person, you don't need to know that. And they would put them in an arena with lots of hides, and there was enough hides for one per snake as a minimum. And then what they found over and over and over again is they would all just pile into one hide over and over every single time for every single group. I think there was quite a few different groups as well. Doesn't matter the sexes, doesn't matter the age, pile in over and over again. And they even did a scent test where they would mix up some ball python shed into like a fatty like water solution, and they would like drop that on some paper near a hide, and it would attract the ball pythons to go to that hide because they could smell other ball pythons. And the study, rightly so, said that they think that ball pythons are social and that they go into these like dens together, and they all choose to go into a den together, which correlates with what we see in the wild. We'll see people a lot fully digging out like burrows and stuff, and they'll pull out like 15 snakes out of it. So, and this is something that we've experienced, exactly, babies and adults. When we've had babies in tubs before years ago, and there was a divider between two baby ball pythons, and they kept on forcing themselves past the divider to get to each other, and then would sit there cuddling. And we were like, that's really weird, why are they trying to do that? And eventually Ellie took the divider away and left them to it and left them together, and it turns out it's because they're social and they were just trying to get to each other. So yeah, if I found the right snake to put in with my female in the 7th foot, I'd cohab because I think it's right. And then ball pythons don't even eat reptiles. They eat birds and mammals. And there's never really been much documentation of a ball python eating another one, apart from a really weird accident that happened once, like a decade ago. There's one picture from one forum. But magically it's like, oh, they're dominating each other and they're always going to eat each other. And that one picture circulates around. But one freak accident isn't like representative of like the snakes. Like, dogs are social. Dogs go around in packs, but dogs can be dog aggressive and kill each other. There's more cases of dogs killing other dogs than there are. There's one case of a ball python that's actually on the internet I can find. To me, I'm like, I'll keep them together, no problem. I want to start a 501c3 here in the US, and I want to live this all day, every day. Yeah, I mean, that sounds cool. I mean, I'm kind of like living it all day, every day, kind of. I mean, I'm not a charity by any means. It's just, it's my own income, but yeah, I'm kind of doing similar. I've just realized I've not been reading the chat. I've been like fully focused on being on a monologue talking about the study. Yeah, everyone's saying morning, the times and stuff. Yeah, I'm glad I'm talking about this as well. That Melissa, it's an important thing. I mean, like, if the snakes want to be with each other, of course, like, you don't want to have like a male and female and then be like, why have I got eggs? But I think if you got some semblance of an idea of what you're doing, like two females and two males, and I've cohabbed males. Males don't fight. I have not had that experience, to be fair. And here's the other thing with breeding snakes. I'm going to scroll this chat down just so I can see. I have said in the past too, and many people say you should always like give a female snake a year off and breed her every second year, so she has 1 year on, 1 year off, just so she doesn't overburden herself and she can have a break, right? And it turns out you might be better off breeding them every year, because what happens is when they ovulate and they get the follicles, if that follicle doesn't go through the pipeline to becoming an egg, the following year that knackered old follicle can be the slug for the following year. So there's more chance of them having egg binding issues and health issues from a buildup of old knackered follicles by not breeding every year. So they're actually, this is a vet on a podcast was talking about this, was actually talking about, especially in colubrid snakes, that it's probably better to breed them every year. Which then goes into the conversation of cohabbing and, oh, we don't want female to be overbred. And it's like, well, actually, maybe yearly's better. So there's so many things that are part of this conversation now that are getting more interesting. I'm looking to get my first snake. Would you recommend a rescue from a young? I recommend it. Depends what you want. If you want a baby because you want it to raise in the way that you want and you want to develop its personality, and well, personality is somewhat already there, but I mean, it's nature versus nurture, right? Sometimes you can get a rescue, and I've got a rescue bull python in the house. It's in one of Ellie's vivs, and he doesn't like life, and he will bite and hiss and is not fond of people, and that was a rescue. And if that was a first time pet, I would have been put off bull python. So honestly, I'm not one of these people that are like adopt, don't shop. I personally don't judge people. Do what you want. I have a female bull python. She is little under a year old, and she's around 2 years, 2 foot long. How long would she get, and how long is your average? Well, on average, they're like 4 to 5 foot, roughly. How big yours is going to get, how long is a piece of string, it's up to genetics, how many calories they get in their lifetime. I mean, my female is a 6 foot girl, and that's way bigger than the average. And a lot of people, when they see how big my bull python is, they're quite shocked. It's a big snake. So at the moment, my bull python's bigger than my carpet. That's how big she is. Weirdly, my chat isn't scrolling down with them as they come in. I have to like move them. No worries. I'm glad you like the content. I just keep turning up. Just keep being a part of the conversation, and just keep turning up to help. You know what I mean? Right, and the snake, my biggest would be my Guyana bee boa constrictor. Nice. How would you provide customized welfare if cohab? Well, because you look at snakes as individuals still. I wouldn't put snakes in. I mean, I'm cohabbing sand snakes right now in there. The tank's off now, but like, you look at snakes as individuals. You don't go, oh, it's the snakes now. You still have to like look at them and treat them as individuals, and feed them as individuals. I mean, I cohab right now baby Texas rat snakes, and they're all in together. Actually, no, they're not. We got them in 2 pairs, and they do just fine. And again, similar, they cuddle. Like, there's multiple hides in there, and they will always pile into the same thing and cuddle. I mean, like with corn snakes too. The university that I went to had like 17 corn snakes in one cohab. If you can manage it, you can manage it. It's not a beginner thing, because beginners make silly mistakes, right? But it isn't hard if you've got some semblance of knowing what's going on. Hang on, I've got manager's chat. And I have one from a baby and she does not want to be held. She stopped attacking me and she'll tolerate me, but she's stiff as a board. Yeah, all snakes are different, exactly. I have some spotted pythons that are like that, and I sold them for that reason. I was just not getting on with them. I didn't even buy them to begin with, to be fair. Ellie bought the snakes, and then she was like, I'm not really feeling them. The particular individuals that like are nasty. And I was like, I'll give them a go. I've had them for 2 years, and I'm still like, I still haven't jived with them, so they're going. Do you feed your bearded dragon information? No, my bearded dragon is asleep. Wait.